over time they've come to mean more to me than I realized, especially when I look at them again. Here's like a Will Ferrell portrait with a goofy tattoo. This started off as Tucker Carlson called Dog Meat or Dog God. This was an earlier one. For example, this would be earlier than the Will Ferrell one. I was playing with different kind of ideas of cartoon mixed with reality. This one is interesting because, again, this is Hulk, and that'd be funny with nukes on his bandana, but I actually liquefied his eyes in Photoshop and then painted the portrait of those liquefied eyes, and then the heart tattoo was an afterthought. Some of these people actually mean something. Some I don't really care about so much, but this was around, I think, before Bob Saget died, actually, or right around his death, I'm guessing. I like Bob Saget. Louis C.K. is one of the greatest comedians, but I thought he needed a Scarlet letter after his scandal. That was kind of the premise of that. John Cena really means nothing to me, but I thought he had an interesting physique and face that I love the idea of putting like jailhouse kind of scribble tattoos that you'd see on a student's desk in detention on people's bodies. I like it. Alex Jones, America's Third World. I like that one. Again, I liquefied his eyes in Photoshop and then painted that portrait as a reference. Mr. Beast. Kind of did that one quickly. This was one of the later pieces, probably later 2023. Or definitely not in 2022. This was around Johnny Depp's trial with Amber Heard. Saw this guy when I first moved to Thailand. He's a Thai celebrity, my understanding. Just liked his face tattoos. Thought it was cool. This is when Tucker Carlson got fired, and kind of interesting because timeline was just like nighttime or like TV hosts. This is like Stephen Colbert with like a vaccine. What do you call it? A vaccine. This is Stephen Colbert being vaccine injured, I guess. I put PeeWee Herman into, I opened up an AI app and asked it for a PeeWee Herman representation, I guess. Prompted it. I just prompted PeeWee Herman. It gave me something very similar to that. I thought it was very interesting. This is Ash from Evil Dead. Grew up loving those movies. It was more of a quick one. Just thinking about him for some reason. I think this started off as Jimmy Kimmel, and then I added all the 80s retro. The 80s are killing me. I like this one. Another Mr. Beast. Definitely around the Will Smith slap. Thought again, if he tattooed his face, maybe then we would let him come back into society. At least that was the thought at the time. I think this is that guy Matt Walsh. He's like a right-wing pundit, and I thought they should make sex dolls of him. That'd be funny. Kenny Powers kind of went a little awry, but I like that. It's funny. There's Beeple. I actually have a video of me painting the whole thing in a video. I like that. I think that turned out really well for a little small portrait. kind of wanted it to look like a Polaroid. There's a more accurate PeeWee Herman. That's when he died. I love PeeWee. Oh no, this is before PeeWee died. He just played a significant role in my childhood. I love cat / human being, like humanoid cat creatures. Now we're getting into my Kougie Goblin series. I really love these guys. These guys meant a lot to me. The Kougie Goblin, I don't know, I just thought it would be cool to see different creatures wearing Kougie sweaters. That's where the idea came from. And this is an older, these are, when I first started doing these little pieces, they were just on pieces of paper that I tore right out of my notebook. Man, I spent a lot of time on them. I really liked the idea of having a goblin wearing a Kougie sweater. And it's like mashing up different parts of pop culture. This always reminds me of like that stained glass that you would find in a bar, like in Cheers. And this kind of has some weird like overlap of like a grandmother vibe. And some things I would try on, and like some things I would just like, you know, those Mickey Mouse gloves, I would just throw them in, really fixating on the skin. Really was working like on my skin palettes a lot of the time. This one I feel like was probably even, I like that. I like that hair there. It's probably, this one's varnished. Yeah, trying out different layouts too. Yeah, I told you I love my Kougie Goblins. Again, this would have been an earlier one. Yeah, I didn't number them all, but some of them when I first started. This one's one of my favorites out of the whole entire small pieces, little pieces. Yeah, half humans, half cats. I love them. Again, this is kind of like a Kougie Goblin, but there's like, I call this one like the Cat Man, I believe. I love cats. That's interesting. Kind of at a loss for words. This is my King of the Losers series, where I took Sloth from the Goonies and I just imagined Sloth as different characters, and I thought that was a really fun way just to highlight how impactful Sloth was on my childhood. And yeah, he was disfigured, and I think some people took it a little bit as off-putting, but Sloth as a character and then inserted into different iconic characters I thought was good. So like this was Harry Sloth, and this was him as a baby. But I thought this series was really interesting. And this is from Ozark, that girl from Ozark, Ruth Baby Langmore. No, Baby Ruth Langmore. And here's Ralph, the Sloth. President Sloth, or like a businessman, as if he got a normal job. Here's Ronald McSloth. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Here's Sloth Goes to Disneyland. And again, King of the Losers was just like, Sloth was on all accounts a loser, right? Like he was hidden away and left in a cave essentially, and by all definitions that would be like a loser, and he was the king. He's the king of the losers. And yeah, I adore the guy and the character that he represented. You know, he came from a weird criminal family and then decided to change his ways, right? And everyone was afraid of him, but he had a good heart, which is kind of why this series, I think, was important to me. Yeah, this is just a mashup. I think it was like a hillbilly, but with a Mike Tyson tattoo. I thought that was good. His skin turned out good here. Millhouse. Oh, he's got like a little extra dong there. Forgot about that. Oh yeah. I can't remember what I called it. Oh yeah, I can't remember what I called this. Sloth, maybe, something like that. And what's her name? Marilyn Sloth Monroe, something like that. These were quickly, crude, kind of the end of the series, where I just fleshing out ideas really is what happens. Why this series is so, this whole entire many things is I have so many ideas and I want to get them captured as quickly as I can, because I just have the next idea. So ghost boners, I thought was interesting. A lot of people like these, but I don't really, the energy around them died pretty quickly. I thought it was a good idea for shirts or something, ghost boners. And I don't think there's anything more haunting than a ghost with a boner. Ghost boners. Yeah, these are just kind of like side thoughts, I guess. Yeah, Nope the Clown. I just thought it'd be fun to have a clown full of tattoos from top to bottom. These are my kind of a different style, just exploring with like really ugly painting style. I think I got inspired by certain works I saw where it was just rushed, and I wanted to see what a rushed piece of Britney Spears would look like. These were my Britney Spears attempts. This is Peter full of tattoos. Yeah, this kind of probably would imagine this was one of the first ones of Britney. I think I did put these on t-shirts actually, on my TeePublic or something. Here's like just unfinished styles. I really like scribbling out the base of the drawing and then filling in parts of it. I don't think I have a better description than that, other than the scribble out the drawing, almost childlike, and then fill in certain places with like a realistic painting. In this case, Matthew McConaughey. Same with this. This style again is scribbling out the drawing, the reference, in a really crude, childlike manner, and then painting in parts of the figure to reveal like a realism, childlike drawing collision. And part of these I thought would always look good as big paintings too. Like I thought these would look really cool as a large painting. Even like this style. Part of the problem with large painting, they take a long time, and so I wanted to see how it would look with like a balanced layout that wouldn't take months and months to paint, or weeks. So I think this was just to see like how it would look, how the layout would look on a larger painting, I suppose. When I look at it now especially, it would look great. Yeah, this would be cool. I think that's Angelina Jolie. Here's more Britney Spears. Yeah, that's great. I'm happy with that. I like it. I think it's a cool idea. I think these made it to shirts, or they might have got pulled. I think these got pulled from Redbubble or T Public. I don't know how. I think because I say Britney Spears, so they just don't like that. This guy was just me Google searching homeless people. That's one cool thing about AI now, is that you can just prompt a homeless person, and so it's totally fictitious, and you don't have to hunt through Google Images anymore. Because I just wanted a reference. I didn't care who it was, and it was just, I get inspired by people with a lot of stories, or I imagine what stories they might have. Kevin McAllister. This is me experimenting with just not quite a goblin, and obviously not quite a human. Like a normal face. Yeah, I like tattoos on faces. I still do. I think it's interesting. It takes a kind of person to do that, right? And I think that's fascinating to me. And then you have people that just lost everything, lost their marbles, and would put something like candy on their forehead. It's wild. I think that was Abraham Lincoln hair, if I recall correctly. This was me mashing up Burton Ernie with a human. That was the idea. Imagine half Muppet, half human being. A few of these, I think I sold a couple skull ones. This is like silver spray paint. It's just like a chrome, I guess. Yeah, another Burton Ernie mashup, like split personality, and one of your personalities is a Muppet. Dream Baby Dream. It's also that song. I think I left this one in this video because it's fascinating, but it's almost incomplete in a way. But I like it. I always like backgrounds that don't make sense, but yet. One interesting thing is like these paintings really help me get better. That was kind of the sole intention of these small pieces, is because knocking out so many at a time, I would also become a better painter, just like by simply doing things over and over again, faces, and using reference photos, and not gridding, and just really attempting to match the artwork with what I'm seeing, and then adding my artistic ideas onto them. And this is again like just the political. This is political in nature, where it's just red and blue fighting, as tattoos replacing the eyes too, I guess. Zach Galifianakis, I think it was anyway. The idea was from old circus vintage circus posters. That's kind of where the idea came from. I thought they were really cool, a lot of them, and just reimagined, obviously, and mini circus poster. I thought that was a fun idea. I think this was supposed to be what's this? Leatherface, again with a Kougie sweater. Leatherface reimagined. Here, right here. Another mini circus poster. I spent some time on these. Really love this style. It was hard to replicate. When I was at, I don't know where this would be very, no reference, just subconscious painting style, where I just start painting and go with it. I think around the same era though as the circus posters, but lost and found. That's, I think, Pablo Escobar. These are all the old, these are the originals. Again, part of the reason they painted on kind of cheap paper is to really be detached from the outcome and just knock them off and see what happens and spend time where I thought it needed it and also moving on. I remember this one was called The Babysitter. That's a Pablo Picasso quote. I fucking hate distractions. The Rock with a penis shirt. This one's cool too. Again, sometimes these are just about idea generators. Remember Trey Cool? Yeah, these are from the beginning. So not a lot of, I let myself stop pretty quick and move on. Here's my buddy Matt Popolo. My buddy Sean. I don't think he thought that was flattering. It wasn't supposed to be. It was just he was on my mind. Derry. Those are the kids from the It. Georgie from It. Georgie mixed with the It clown, really. Me and my wife did that one together. She painted the little cartoons. Just ideas, right? So I think Chinese lettering infiltrating artwork is always interesting. Ace of Spades. Here's my buddy Danny. Adam Carolla. I think I was listening to him a lot at that time. This is that style where I write out sentences or lyrics from songs or poetry, and then I fill in all the lettering with abstract work. Oh, Kougie Goblin. Here's one of the originals. Interesting. That has that vintage style. Some things are really hard to replicate based on the color and the matte palette and that cartoon hair. This one turned out really good. I was using different kind of colors of ink for what tattoos would work. I can't remember who that is. I think it's just a random reference photo.